Good morning and welcome. Here we are at the very beginning of December 2019, and I have been taking stock, and I thought I would share some of the processes that I've gone through in my mind in order to plan for my arting in 2020. These items were up in a shelf, much loved but untouched. And for some reason, I was looking for something, and I looked at these and I said, "Let me have a good think," because as you can see from the dates on these were what I call my pre-junk journaling arting, and I have to admit that I miss them. If there were more hours in a day and days in a week, I would probably be able to make decisions more easily. Not to say that I would ever, even vaguely, give up my junk journaling. I love it so much, but I also miss this. Let me walk through these with you, and give you an idea of why I say that. My joy of art was just that. I began in January 2018. And this book has nice paper, nice quality paper. I think at best you would say mixed media. But here's an experiment with, of course, some collage and some watercoloring and so forth. I just love doing that. Another piece from 2018, and the point of this one was to use my Uniball white, and it was quite a success. Here, again, watercoloring and bits of collage, and I cut through and put a piece of collage behind this window effect. More cut work. I always seem to want to see what's through the rabbit hole. This one was a stencil that I used, some gold watercolor, and I painted through onto this using my stencil. More watercolor practice. Again, a variation on the first piece at the beginning of the book. This was, and still is, one of my very favorite bits. I discovered vellum and added it as an add-on. This is gouache. It's a little heavier than watercolor on and this is a gouache background. And I wanted to see what would happen, and I did, and I love it. This again is one of, this is not a cut, this is not a cut piece. This is just a piece out of an old book that I use as a frame on this piece of collage, and I was playing. More playing. I call this is my idea of a glue book, using all sorts of pretty and attractive papers in a color theme with a background of gouache and some watercolor. I miss doing this. More practice. More practice. This is a cut and glue. Pieces of collage through the circles, and all of this is my doodling and watercoloring. I love doing this. I truly do. I want to think of how I can use this as, enjoy doing this for making ephemera. We'll get back to that concept of use this on ephemera. A double spread again with just pieces of silk, pretty pieces of collage, my schmanky colors that I used here, stenciling. See, I don't quite, oh, and this is I was practicing drawing this flower. Here again, I don't see why I can't have the best of both worlds, and that's what I'm leaning to for 2020. That's it for this book. I'll leave that over here. Here's one that I started in 2017 because I saw a video on thanks to Shelley Clammer from Lifebook 2017, Bloom into Collage. As you can see, that this is a notebook using with graph paper in it, and I just covered the front and back covers. I always like to leave the black binding. I don't buy them unless they have the black binding. On the covers, inside and out, that's watered down acrylic, collaging on the front. And inside, some of my very favorite things, books. And I was off. Just making combination, leaving negative space, using pieces of my collage that I like so much, working with a color theme, genuinely just playing and having fun. Not long, time-consuming, not much mind-bending involved, but great, great fun. These pages are glued together so that I had no problem with either pens or paints getting through. I was back into fall in 2017. A little stenciling was added now. Flowers, a little use of washi, some journaling. I just wanted, I think this all started out with these two as the focus. A favorite, just some stamping, some washi. Our art supplies as a theme, practicing my cursive handwriting that I taught eons ago in 3rd grade. Don't get me started on that subject. And this is a piece from one of my needlepoint magazines. And so I played up the colors here onto this page. I don't know where that came from. It was a piece of something in my collage collection. Some more doodling and painting in. Oh, this is a napkin. And as you can see, on, and I haven't been doing this, and I've been missing it. And I'm going to, I believe I'm going to start another book, and we can work on it together. You might want to work with me. We will begin by gluing some pages together with glue stick, and we'll make the covers our own, and we will play and up There goes Carol again. Now you know me. There it is. Love this combination of teal and middle brown. And that was the result because of the, well, resulted because of this piece of collage. And then that left me this side. Oh, and I cut again. Let me see, this is a tunnel. Well, look at that, I didn't realize. This is one of my tunnels. You're going to see more tunnels because they're fun. How that worked. And came over to here. Colors that I usually do not use, but forcing myself to have fun with them. Getting into fall. And I was a girl who used some washi at one point in my life. More fall. Holidays. This is exactly what I want to do more of. December 2018. Just as I started to evolve into junk journaling. So, that's that one. And this one, I think I'll move this one over. Now I'm not going to go through this whole thing. It's a big one, but I'm going to be using this. I didn't do anything in the inside cover, but this is examples of some of my watercoloring and doodle combination. And here it is with collage. Always a little collage to make myself happy. Little faux sari ribbon that I have, and watercolor. And on. Here's the combination of a back. Oh, this was a leftover piece from a watercolor class I was taking. I can tell by the wonderful quality. This is 300-pound watercolor paper. I had a smidge left, so that's what I turned this into. Practice time. And then here, just adding pages for as for backgrounds. More of that heavy-duty, wonderful watercolor paper. Worth its weight in gold, and costs about the same. June 2017. A copy of when I first started to learn to do mixed media, and so forth. Another combination right on top of collage. These were the dividers for this, and I gessoed them, and aren't they ready and waiting for playing. This is something I wasn't happy with, as you can see why. It was a bad day. I must have been holding my mouth wrong. But it's in here. I just started to do watercolor again. Alrighty. And as you can see, I must have been starting to do some watching of on YouTube. More of my watercolor. Oh, this is another day that I was holding my mouth wrong. But here it is. Let's see what I can make out of this puppy. That will be fun. Learning mixed media. Copy from a printed copy. A little girl that I love. Not wonderful in any way, shape, or form, but I love her. And so forth. This is a copy of one of my first faces that I hid it all in because I thought it needed it. And when I look at it now, it's not too terribly awful. But I put all of these things together to play with, and I even included this one. I even included her. I was practicing trying to get the eyes straight. I have a thing about getting eyes straight. If they're not right, I'm not happy. Okay, more stuff that I am absolutely... Oh, this was in a needlepoint book. This is a needle-pointed bird. Love this bird beyond anything. Wished I had time to do needlepoint, but I was starting to spend so much time with mixed media that I had to make a life choice, and I'm happy that I did. 40 years of anything, I've got to the top of the mountain. More bits of collage. This is the picture that would have come printed onto needlepoint canvas. My watercolor was flying for the background and some doodling. Now this one and this one were connected in some way, but oh yes, you see this and this are connected. Here it is. Love it. So, oh, that was White Bub, I think. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that pretty? Whoa. As you can see, I am going to be visiting this quite often. This is just a watercolor on the very nice quality paper. That was going to be something else and didn't make it. Oh yes, I believe I remember doing that. Oh, no. This was my watercolor teacher ripped it, and she was hitting the garbage can with it. I rescued. Now I know that you understand about being a garbage picker when we do our junk journaling. So, this is fodder for my playing and imagination, and in 2020 I'm going to be adding a this is mine. This was part of that big piece of paper. This was mine, and I do hope that you will be willing to join me when I get back in this book, because it has so much potential for... I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave this like this, because this makes me happy. If you have enjoyed seeing my the result of my rethinking how I want to spend my arting time next year, how can I spend this? What I'm trying to actually do is spend the exact same amount of time doing junk journaling plus all of this. If any of you have an idea, let me know. Thank you. I will be joining you again intimately through the month, working out some of these ideas and shares. If you have enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I would appreciate your joining me on my YouTube channel. Bye now.